You are at OMFIF doing, I think, a good service. You're trying to get great debate every day, pretty much, from the pro and the anti, the stay and the go as well. How would you say the balance is at the moment? Are you finding it harder to get one side or t'other to give commentary?
No, I think there's lots of very voluble people out there, and what we're trying to do is encourage people from around the world to give their views. These are well-founded views, from economists and central bankers and people like that. And I think there is a genuine split in people's minds about this issue, because on the one hand you do have some perfectly decent European countries like Switzerland or Norway that are not in the EU and trade a great deal with the rest of Europe and are pretty well-run countries. On the other hand, you do have a country called Britain, which has been part of this now since 1973. For us just to leave would be a major disruption, I think, in security terms as well as in politics and economics.
One point, briefly. I mean, I noticed that when JP Morgan's CEO was cited by our very own Wilf to Boris Johnson, it just became cannon fodder for Boris Johnson to reel off a whole load of reasons why Jamie Dimon and JP Morgan weren't qualified to speak about Brexit as well. So international voices, I think, are very welcome. And yet Boris Johnson was an example, and it could have been someone from the In campaign who made this opposite point. But the fact of the matter is they're being, well, chastised aggressively.
Yes, it's a good point. Almost anything that anybody says is going to be used as a soundbite against them. And we do have a bit of a soundbite campaign with people taking bits of what people say and distorting them, taking them out of context and so on. Nonetheless, Britain is so embedded in the world trading system, and we're so much part of the world security community as well, that what we do does have an impact on the rest of the world. And this is hugely ironic. What started out in January 2013 by David Cameron as an instrument to diffuse political tensions within his own party has now not only inflamed those tensions, i.e. the opposite of what he wanted, but has also spread to a possible wildfire around the world. So this has got a hugely important international dimension.
Too much complacency then, if you look at how fund managers are treating Brexit.
Anyone based
in the UK, I think it's been very last minute, where people here are quite comfortable about it. International investors less so. So I wonder whether just domestically there's too much complacency.
Sterling's dropped a little, but sterling was overvalued anyway. I mean, arguably a fall in sterling when there's not much inflation around is very good for the economy. So going down to say 140 against the dollar would not be a catastrophe.